Live, this is 24-hour News 8.
I am truly sorry.
Okay.
I can understand their grief.
Okay.
And I hope they can heal.
Now at 5, the mother of a man accused of hitting a pack of cyclists is talking to us, still in shock, and offering her apologies to the families of the victims. Good evening, everyone. I'm Susan Shaw. Murder charges have been authorized against the suspect, and the community is preparing to heal through 2 prayer services. My colleague, Brian Sterling, anchors our live team coverage from Kalamazoo tonight. Brian?
Well, good evening, Sue. We're live outside of St. Thomas More Student Parish here in Kalamazoo. We're in just a couple of hours at 7 o'clock. A community prayer service will be getting underway here. 2 of the victims of Tuesday night's crash were longtime members of this church community. Today, the service is at 7 o'clock. If you can't make it, we want to let you know that we'll be airing that entire service live on WXSP and at woodtv.com. There's also a service tonight at 7 o'clock at Grace Spring Bible Church. That's happening out in Richland. Now, today, as the community mourns, we are learning some new information about the accused driver. We confirmed yesterday that he is 50-year-old Charles Pickett Jr., and this afternoon, second-degree murder charges were authorized against him. Some good news from the hospitals today. As for the survivors, 2 are upgraded now to serious condition, 2 others upgraded to fair condition. That's the good news in this story. And tonight, as you mentioned, Sue, we do have team coverage, including an interview with the driver's mother. But we want to start with 24-hour News 8 Susan Samples, who has more on the charges that were issued today. Susan?
In a Kalamazoo district courtroom this afternoon, a step forward in this community's search for justice. The prosecutor says Charles Pickett Jr. will not be officially arraigned because he is not medically able to be arraigned right now, though he is in police custody, refused to elaborate on Pickett's condition right now. What we do know, the prosecutor intends to file 5 counts of second-degree murder against Charles Pickett Jr., as well as 4 counts of reckless driving causing impairment or causing serious injury. The second-degree murder charges, of course, for those 5 victims who were killed. In order to prove second-degree murder, the prosecutor has to prove that Pickett acted, quote, in a wanton and willful disregard of the likelihood that his actions would cause death or serious injury. It is a charge that is not often used in traffic-related cases.
It's somewhat unusual for second-degree murder to be charged in this, given that there are other charges are available. But considering all of the evidence we have, and I can't go into it, but considering the evidence we have about the defendant's actions leading up to this and how this event unfolded, we believe that the charge of second-degree murder is well merited.
Again, refusing to elaborate on what led up to that crash, but we do, of course, know that Pickett was reported to be driving erratically in the half hour leading up to the accident. No answers today also on the other big question in this case, which is, was there something in Charles Pickett Jr.'s system, any alcohol or any drugs that might have impaired his driving? The blood tests are still out. Those are still pending, but Getting says that he could add additional charges if those tests come back as positive. Second-degree murder carries a maximum sentence of up to life in prison. We're live in downtown Kalamazoo outside the courthouse. Susan Samples, back to you.
All right, Susan, we'll wait for those toxicology reports to come back. In the meantime, still a lot of questions as to what might have transpired that night. Also tonight, we're hearing from the suspect's mom. She is defending her son, saying that he's not a killer, at least not intentionally. She, like all of us, is looking for some explanation to explain what happened on Tuesday night. And 24-hour News 8's Ken Kolker spoke with her today. Ken joins us live from Battle Creek tonight. Ken.
Now we're in Battle Creek, not far from where Charles Pickett Jr. lived with his parents, and his mom is struggling.
My heart goes out to him, and I am truly sorry. I can understand their grief, and I hope they can heal.
She spoke to us through the front door of her daughter's home, but asked that we not name her. She says she hasn't had a chance to talk to her son.
I know he's hurting bad. I mean, I haven't talked to him, but I know how he is.
Okay.
He's never, ever been in trouble or anything. And then for this to happen, it was a freak accident.
Pickett has no criminal convictions, though we found an arrest for drunk driving in Tennessee 5 years ago, which later was dropped. He's got no record in Michigan.
No, he's not a murderer. My God.
She says she has heard the speculation. Did he do this intentionally?
No, he would never, ever, ever do anything like that on purpose. Never.
She said she doesn't know where he was going or where he had been before the crash, or why he had been driving erratically. Could he have a medical condition, something to explain
Oh,
it?
most definitely he has. Physically, his body hurts a lot because he needs back surgery and a bunch of stuff like that. But
Today we also learned more about his background, that he's divorced and that he ran an auto repair shop in a town called Soddy Daisy, Tennessee, near Chattanooga until several years ago. A longtime neighbor says Pickett returned to live with his parents about a year ago near the end of a 2-track near Battle Creek.
I was surprised at the hell he killed all them people, though. That just blew my mind.
Yeah. Why?
I don't know. It didn't seem like him.
Now, if Pickett is medically able to be arraigned tomorrow, we'll be in court to cover that. Live in Battle Creek, Ken Kolker, 24-Hour News 8. Back to you, Brian.
Okay, Ken, reporting live from Battle Creek tonight. We do now want to go live to Joe LaFurgey. Joe is in Richland, where that other prayer service will be held tonight, and he has an update on some of those still in the hospital after that crash Tuesday. Joe?
That is right, Brian, and good evening. We are at Grace Spring Bible Church on Gull Road in Richland. In about 2 hours, a prayer service will be held here. More on that in a moment, but first, we want to give you new information on the 4 people who survived that Tuesday evening crash, many of them from the Richland area. Paul Runnels remains in serious condition with body lacerations, while Sheila Jeske, who suffered head injuries and a leg laceration, was upgraded to fair condition at Bronson Methodist Hospital. At Borges Medical Center, Jennifer Lynn Johnson remains in fair condition with an injury to her femur. Paul Goebel in serious condition with various injuries. Runnels, Jeske, and Goebel, all from the Richland area. All that information coming from, part of it coming from the hospital, part of it coming from court records that we were able to sit in on when the police came in to justify their need for an arrest warrant for the suspect today. And again, as I said just a few minutes ago, tonight Grace Spring Church will open their doors to those affected in this community by this tragedy. It's where the church has helped in the past and is helping tonight. Beginning at 7 o'clock, Grace Springs will open the doors for a community-wide prayer service. 3 of the survivors, as well as 2 of the victims killed in Tuesday night's tragedy, Deborah Bradley and Suzanne Sipple, had ties to Richland and the Gull Lake area. Pastor Brian Tima says many of the members of his flock knew at least one of the victims.
We want to have the opportunity for our community to come together and be able to pray and come alongside and encourage one another. And we're the church here in this area that we really want to be here for the community.
And once again, that service set to begin at 7 o'clock here at the church. The church is located at 8643 Gull Road in Richland. Richland, Joe LaFurgey, 24-Hour News 8.
All right, Joe,
Brian,
that
back to
is
you.
one of 2 prayer services happening tonight. We do want to remind you that there will be a prayer service here at St. Thomas More Community Church, family church here in Kalamazoo. Joining us now live is Father Ken Schmidt, who is pastor here at St. Thomas More. Pastor, thanks for your time tonight. We appreciate it. I know you were out of town when you heard about the tragedy Tuesday night, and you flew back in town for this event. Tell us about that.
Well, it's just that people were keeping in touch with me about what was going on with our parishioners, trying to find out, let me know, keep in touch. And the next morning I just said, I have to go back. I have to be with the people in my parish.
This, of course, is the second major tragedy that this community has had to endure just this year. When you're in your process of writing your homily tonight and the words that you'll speak to the community, what do you draw upon?
Well, I draw on my years of experience, I think, in reflection upon what's happened in the community and trying to respond to both of them, actually. I won't dwell on the earlier tragedy of the shootings, but I think there's some parallels that touch us and get stirred up all over again.
Talk about the role of faith in the community, especially in times like this. This is an open wound, obviously, for this community. Talk about the role of faith and what it plays in healing.
I think it's a very significant role for those who have faith, but we want to have a community service and recognize that everybody's not going to come with that perspective. So we're trying to be open in the service tonight, both to a faith perspective and those who might not have a faith perspective.
Well, we look forward to hearing your words, and of course, we wish you the best. We know that two of the people that were killed Tuesday were longtime members here, and I know that that's a sensitive topic for you too.
Thank you.
Pastor Ken Schmidt here at St. Thomas More. Again, that service gets underway at 7 o'clock tonight, and a reminder, we will be streaming that live both on air and on WXSP and online at woodtv.com. Coming up at 5:45, we do want to let you know we're going to be talking live with the director of the Kalamazoo Strong organization about the community's response to help the victims of the tragedy. We've got a link to a fund where you can donate. That's over at woodtv.com. And of course, our team is staying here throughout the night in Kalamazoo. We'll bring you team coverage of both this event and the very latest in the case and the investigation. That'll be happening tonight at 10 and 11, and we'll have much more throughout this hour and a half here on Wood TV 8. For now, we will send it back to you in the studio there, Susan, as this community now turns to faith to tend to the open wound here after that awful incident Tuesday night.
Okay, Brian, so many people pulling together to pray for the victims and their families. Thank you for the live reporting. We'll check back with you a little bit later. Now let's get to our forecast. Here's a live look right now outside, kind of a cloudy Grand Rapids. Storm Team 8 Chief Meteorologist Bill Steffen is in the tracking center right now with a look at some of the numbers across West Michigan. Bill?
Well, Sue, we got a couple of sprinkles out there to track. Temperatures are still a little bit cooler than average, but we're going to warm things up here starting tomorrow. Storm Track Live, there's a couple sprinkles that passed by Grand Rapids exiting. There's a few little sprinkles mainly aloft over Montcalm County. Some rain down toward Chicago. You can see the movement on that off to the southeast, so I think many of you will get through the evening here without any significant rain. You can see this area right here in Illinois is kind of dropping off toward the southeast. So bottom line, while there's still a chance of a light shower or sprinkle, most of you again will stay dry. 65 at Grand Rapids where there's been some sprinkles. A lot of temperatures up around 70 degrees. Won't move much here this evening. We'll fall down back into the low 60s by around 1 a.m. Winds light out of the southeast. Coming up, we'll talk about our chances for some bigger storms and some warm weather headed our way to start the weekend.
Okay, Bill, thank you. To Decision 2016 now, President Obama has endorsed Hillary Clinton. President Obama announced today that he will campaign for Hillary Clinton next Wednesday in Wisconsin. President Obama made the announcement after meeting with Bernie Sanders this morning, who remains in the race. We spoke with Michigan U.S. Senator Gary Peters today to get his thoughts on the current state of the Democratic Party.
It's very clear that Hillary Clinton is the nominee for the Democratic Party, and certainly hope that Senator Sanders begins that process of withdrawing. And I'm confident he will, and I'm confident he will endorse Hillary Clinton as well. I know he does not want to support Donald Trump, does not believe that Donald Trump should be the president, and I'm confident he and his supporters will rally behind Hillary Clinton.
There's a lot happening on the campaign trail today. We will have full coverage coming up in a report from Capitol Hill at 5:55. A West Michigan couple pleaded guilty today to making child pornography with local victims. We've been following this story since the two went into hiding last year, and then they turned themselves in. 24-hour News 8's Marley Ginter is at the live desk right now with what happened in federal court today. Marley?
Well, Sue, just a disturbing case. The two admitted to recording a child and then selling that video online. 42-year-old Norman Piddlecow and his girlfriend, 35-year-old Nicole Jacob, are facing at least a decade in prison. Piddlecow admitted he videotaped a child posing naked and in lingerie and then sold the video as well as one of her in the bathtub for $200 to someone he met online. He also admitted to possessing pornographic pictures he produced of 3 other children. Jacob admitted to posing with 3 children in lingerie and also nude in a series of photographs that Piddlecow took, which she did intend to sell online but says she never did. They both turned themselves in after being added to the federal Operation Predator app, which alerts people of wanted suspects and allows them to share tips. Both will be sentenced in October. Piddlecow faces up to 40 years in prison. Meantime, his longtime girlfriend, Jacob, faces 15 to 30 years. At the live desk, Marley Ginter, 24-hour News 8.
Marley, thank you. Still ahead, a man wrongly convicted of 4 murders is free tonight. He's speaking out. Hear what he has planned for the future.
Remembering Muhammad Ali, a prayer service ahead of tomorrow's public memorial. I'm Jay Gray. Full details coming up from Louisville.
A week of memorials and tributes to Muhammad Ali continued today in his hometown of Louisville. More than 16,000 people of all faiths joined in a traditional Muslim funeral prayer service. NBC's Jay Gray is in Louisville now with a look inside the service and details about tomorrow's public memorial to the champ.
Hey there, good evening, Sue. Preparations continue in the arena behind me for tomorrow's public memorial to Muhammad Ali. While today, those of the Muslim faith gathered asking the world to join in as they prayed for a hero lost.
There'll never be another.
A crowd gathered early outside the Kentucky Expo Center.
People come from all around the world to pay respects to Muhammad because, he meant so much to everyone.
16,000 or more at this convention hall turned makeshift mosque for a traditional Muslim funeral prayer, or janazah, a service that before his death, Muhammad Ali insisted be open to fans of all faiths.
He was a gift to his people, his religion, his country, and ultimately to the world. Who has filled the world with more hope, more inspiration, more empathy, more humility, and more goodwill than Muhammad Ali?
The service was brief, just over 30 minutes, the latest in a week of tributes to the champ in his hometown that tomorrow will include one final trip through his old neighborhood, past his childhood home and down the street that now bears his name. A procession that will end with a public memorial in this arena. Hollywood stars, sports heroes, heads of state, and thousands of fans will say goodbye.
He stood for strength, and he wanted to encourage everybody to do the same.
Just one of so many reasons that so many people remember Ali as the greatest.
Former President Bill Clinton, along with comedian Billy Crystal and Bryant Gumbel, will be among those speaking at tomorrow's memorial here. In Louisville, Jay Gray, 24-Hour News 8.
Always tracking, always alerting. This is Storm Team 8.
A lot of clouds outside now, but most of you will get through the evening without any rain. This is downtown Grand Rapids. We got something going on the bridge down there, right by Abnabawin Park. You can see that we certainly have had a couple of sprinkles roll through here behind me, but really not much going on now. And I think most of you will stay dry. You can see some sprinkles of rain there down toward Benton Harbor. The rain in northern Illinois is dropping east-southeast. That's pretty much from Chicago off to the south here for this evening. Our futurecast shows more showers and storms developing overnight tonight. We're at 1 a.m. and you can see the showers and storms off to the west of us. But again, those are dropping mainly off to the southeast. By the time they reach us, there may be a few sprinkles here, and that's about it. Another line of thunderstorms is going to develop here late tomorrow, and that starts to head in our direction. But watch what happens as it gets here. Kind of starts to weaken a little bit. There certainly may be some gusty winds with this. This is about 3 a.m. Friday night, early Saturday morning. You can see it kind of weakens and washes out. During the day, Saturday, a pretty warm day. There could be some fog out over Lake Michigan, and we continue that chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm. Grand Rapids had a sprinkle. We're at 65. You can see temperatures around 70 at the lakeshore. Our wind only 7 miles an hour. Wind should be light here tonight and during the day tomorrow. So an isolated shower tonight, tomorrow, maybe a thunder shower thrown in there, but most of us stay dry most of the time. Warmer and more humid. A better chance for that thunderstorm comes late Friday night after midnight. Tomorrow looks like this. Good amount of cloud cover. Warmer, more humid, 85 degrees in the afternoon. It will be cooler if you're going to be over by Lake Michigan. Look at how cold the water temperatures were there today. We even got some in the 40s. Waves tomorrow should be calm to 2 feet. As we look at the 8-day forecast, I'll be showing you temperatures up around 85 tomorrow. Saturday, warmest day of the year so far. I think we can make 88 Grand Rapids, could make 90 in Kalamazoo. Temperatures will be cooler along the lakeshore. We have a chance of a shower thunderstorm Saturday. Best chance, though, early Saturday morning or late Friday night. A humid day on Saturday. We're a little less humid on Sunday. We'll throw in an outside chance of a shower thunderstorm on Monday, but most of Monday and Tuesday look pretty dry. You can see temperatures getting back a little closer to average, upper 70s to around 80 for much of next week. We got more coming up for you next. Stay with us.
He was behind bars for crimes he did not commit. Today, a freed man is speaking out after 8 long years. Devontae Sanford walked out of the Bellamy Creek Correctional Facility in Ionia yesterday afternoon. He was 14 years old when 4 people were gunned down in Detroit. His mother and legal team maintained his innocence and claimed Sanford did not have the mental capacity to commit the crime. A judge signed off on his release. Sanford did not want to speak yesterday, but addressed reporters this afternoon saying he's ready to move on.
It's over. I'm out. Like that's all I really wanted was my freedom. So from this day forward, I'm just trying to move forward and put all this behind me and go from there. Live life, you know. Do some things I've never been able to do before, like learn how to drive and like go get my driver's license and things like that.
A convicted hitman admitted to police that he was responsible for the murders and has insisted that Sanford had nothing to do with the crimes. Today, the Wayne County prosecutor charged 2 men and a woman with murder and kidnapping in the death of a 13-year-old. Gregory Walker, Lillian Roberts, and Ernest Coleman have all been charged. Walker has been charged with first-degree murder. Roberts and Coleman have each been charged with 1 count of torture. Walker is accused of choking 13-year-old Deontay Mitchell to death with the help from the 2 others. Mitchell disappeared May 31st. A cousin says the 13-year-old picked up some money dropped by a man outside of a market. Surveillance video shows Deontay being forced into a car. Deontay's body was found in a vacant lot last week. The Wayne County prosecutor says the brutality of what happens to Deontay is just shocking.
This whole thing is hard to believe. You're talking about 6 prosecutors who've been around a long time, probably a combined over 100 years of experience probably among us all. That's probably a low number. And this case shocked us all. And there's not a whole lot that shocks a seasoned prosecutor.
An Amber Alert went out when Mitchell disappeared. The suspects were arrested near Toledo, Ohio. Still ahead in our next half hour, we're going to Lansing. Today, our elected officials were hard at work trying to get things in order before they take off for the break. Political reporter Rick Albin looks at what's been wrapped up and what's still on the agenda.
And I'm Brian Sterling, live in Kalamazoo. After the Kalamazoo cycling tragedy, the community gathering to pray for the victims. Also an update on the case and the investigation where it stands tonight. That's still ahead.
Hottest weather of 2016 is coming up in our 8-day forecast. Plus, we're going to crank up the humidity. Chance of thunderstorms, too. We'll show you when. Coming up.
Live, this is 24-Hour News 8.
And good evening again, everyone. Brian Sterling reporting tonight from Kalamazoo following the Kalamazoo cycling tragedy here this week. In just a couple of hours, we're outside of St. Thomas More Parish here in Kalamazoo, where a community prayer vigil will get underway at 7 o'clock this evening. This will be an interfaith service. Everyone welcome. In fact, they're anticipating an overflow crowd. We've set up a monitor for that so that folks will be able to participate. And of course, if you can't make it out here, we do want to let you know that we'll air the entire service live on WXSP and over at woodtv.com. Also, there is a service tonight at 7 o'clock at Grace Spring Bible Church. That's happening in Richland. Today, several new developments in this case. The prosecutor telling us that the driver who allegedly hit the 9 cyclists Tuesday night is not medically able to appear in court yet. Charges were authorized, though, against Charles Pickett Jr., 5 counts of second-degree murder for each of the 5 victims, and 4 counts of reckless driving causing serious injury for the 4 others who were hurt. The second-degree murder charges carry the possibility of up to life in prison. As for the survivors, some good news tonight. 2 of the survivors have been upgraded to serious condition, the other 2 upgraded now to fair condition. And you'll want to stay with us. At 5:45, we'll be talking live with the director of the Kalamazoo Strong organization about the community's tremendous response to help the victims of this tragedy. We'll have team coverage coming up at 6, including more of our interview with the suspect's mother. So it's the night, Sue, where the community is able to come together to share their thoughts, remembrances, and condolences for those involved in that awful tragedy Tuesday night. We're expecting a big crowd here and a lot of cyclists as well to appear. We're set up for an overflow crowd. 2 memorial services happening in this community tonight. Sue.
Yeah. So many people wanting to show their support for Kalamazoo, Brian. I know there are some bike clubs up here that are taking donations for Kalamazoo Strong. You know, it's just one of those situations that seems to have touched everyone really in West Michigan. Your heart just pours out to Kalamazoo.
Absolutely. This is a community that has gone through so much already. It's well documented. This has been an awful year for this community. They have faced it with grace, courage, and a lot of resiliency, and that's a testament to the people who live in this tight-knit community.
Absolutely. Brian, thank you for that report. We'll talk with you a little bit later. Want to turn to our forecast right now. Storm teammates Kyle Underwood is in the tracking center with a look at the rest of our night. Kyle?
A lot of cloud cover out there right now, Sue, but we're going to start to see that clear out later tonight. There are some showers and thunderstorms that we're tracking across parts of Wisconsin and Illinois, but you can see that those are moving off to the southeast, so I'm expecting mostly dry weather ahead. It's possible that we see a couple of showers from this here in southwest lower Michigan, but the line is going to be basically like this, south and west of Kalamazoo and Benton Harbor for that shower chance tonight. Otherwise, 90 to 95% of us stay dry. 65 now for Grand Rapids, kind of cool, but look at this warm front off to our west, stretching from parts of south central Canada all the way down to Chicago. That heat is racing toward us as we head into the weekend. And we could tie our hottest temperature of 2016 so far on Saturday. That's in the upper 80s. Specifics on that coming up in just a moment, and the cool down that lingers after that. Our evening planner forecast calls for mostly cloudy skies and pretty comfortable temperatures. A little cool with the cloud cover out there, though. By 9 p.m., just before sunset, we're in the upper 60s. Coming up, more on your weekend forecast, including timing on when we think those showers and thunderstorms roll through, coming up.
Sounds good, Kyle. Thank you. Battle Creek police are now asking for your help tracking down a man wanted for attempted arson. This is in response to suspicious items being left at the Consumers Energy facility in Battle Creek. And this is who police are searching for. They say Joshua Buchanan left items inside the substation on Elm Street in Battle Creek. He was last seen wearing a black t-shirt with a hospital-type ID bracelet. Buchanan is about 6 feet tall and 220 pounds. This was the scene yesterday morning at the facility. Several agencies and a bomb squad were called in. No one was hurt and no power was impacted in the area. If you do know anything, please call Battle Creek Police. As lawmakers are eyeing a break from Lansing, they're also dealing with some major issues before heading back to their districts. 24-hour News 8's political reporter Rick Albin was in Lansing today as the House and Senate tried to wrap up their business for the first half of the year.
As the legislature prepares to take its summer break, this could be the last day of session, then again, maybe not. Already, some of the big issues have been handled, like the budgets.
For the 6th year in a row, we've got the budget done for the state of Michigan about 4 months ahead of the fiscal year, which will start October 1.
Republican Senator Dave Hildenbrand from Lowell is the Appropriations Chairman in the Senate. As such, he's responsible for getting budgets put together and passed, despite changing forecast of how much money the state has to spend.
It's typical that these revenue adjustments and revenue estimates will change a little bit over time. So our revenue estimates from January to May, just a few weeks ago, were down a little bit, but we just quickly made some adjustments.
At about $55 billion, next year's budget reflects priorities for Republicans, says Hildenbrand. Democratic leader Jim Ananich agrees partially.
I voted for the general government budget because some of the things in Flint, some of the other things that we've been working on. I voted against the school aid budget because it's still, we're still not to the place where we're really investing in our K-12 schools at the level we think are important.
The Flint Democrat says on balance, the more than $200 million for his beleaguered city is a step in the right direction.
Very good start. I mean, it's at $25 million for Pipe Place. It's about half. We obviously need the other half. A lot of important stuff still needs to be done, but there's some good programs for nutrition, behavioral, early education, really things that can give people some help for the problems that they may be dealing with.
Today could be the last day for the legislature, but at least one member says they could come back next week to deal with some of those unanswered questions like what to do about energy policy or criminal justice or maybe even medical marijuana if that doesn't get done today. We'll continue to follow it. In Lansing, I'm Rick Albin, 24-hour News 8.
Michigan is one of 21 states suing Delaware to give back more than $150 million in uncashed money orders. The dispute involves uncashed money orders from Dallas-based MoneyGram. The company has been submitting unclaimed money to Delaware, where the company is incorporated. The other states argue that the money should go back to the state where purchased.
The bottom line is simple. Delaware is ignoring controlling federal law in exchange for financial gain. They have hundreds of millions of dollars that rightfully belongs to taxpayers of our states. Arkansas and Texas are co-leading this coalition of states to get our money back, and we are urging the Supreme Court to enforce federal law.
Abandoned property is the third largest source of general fund revenue for Delaware. It is expected to total more than $500 million in the current fiscal year. The huge amount stems from Delaware's status as the legal home to more than 1 million businesses. Coming up next, a cruise ship docks in West Michigan. We'll tell you where it stopped and the impact its visitors could have along the lakeshore. Here's a look at how the stock market closed today. The Dow Jones is down 19 points in trading. The NASDAQ down 16. The S&P 500, that's down more than 3.5. Crude oil trading at $50.46 a barrel at this time. For the first time, the cruise ship, the Pearl Mist, made a stop in Muskegon, and 24-hour News 8's Marley Ginter is here with the impact as visitors are having in the area. Marley?
Well, Sue, last year the Pearl Mist stopped in Muskegon, but only because the ship needed a safe harbor. But today, the ship made its first scheduled stop to the area. It started a Great Lakes tour a week ago in Toronto, making stops in one port each day. Well, it usually stops in places like Mackinac Island, Sault Ste. Marie, and 3 communities in Ontario. Officials from the Muskegon Chamber of Commerce say Muskegon was once a popular cruise port, but that industry died when airplanes and expressways were built. The chamber has been raising money to bring the industry back, though, and the county has been using tourism money, hoping to develop a docking facility so they will bring in more visitors to the lakeshore town. The Pearl Mist will leave Muskegon at 7 o'clock and then head to Chicago, which is its final destination. And then once docked in Chicago, the ship will pick up another group of passengers and start another 10-day trip ending in Toronto. It'll be in Muskegon 10 more times before the season ends, but the 2016 season for the ship is already sold out. They are taking reservations for 2017. Sue?
Marley, thank you. Coming up next, we will go back live to Kalamazoo. In about 90 minutes, a church will hold a prayer service tonight for the victims of Tuesday's bike crash. We're live with the director of the Kalamazoo Strong organization next.
There's some real heat building off to our warmth. We're in the 90s across the Dakotas, Nebraska, and parts of Iowa. That warmth is headed our way. We'll show you the numbers next.
Good afternoon. Ahead for us tonight with the president openly endorsing Hillary Clinton today. All eyes now on Bernie Sanders. What's his next move? New documents surface of the young man at the center of a California sexual assault case, raising further questions about his lenient sentence. And a year after leaving late night, a candid David Letterman speaks to Tom Brokaw when we see you back here tonight.
For the second time in just a few months, the Kalamazoo area is grieving in the midst of tragedy after a gunman opened fire, killing 6. The area came together under the banner of Kalamazoo Strong. Now, they're uniting under that same rallying cry. My co-anchor, Brian Sterling, is live in Kalamazoo with the director of the Kalamazoo Strong organization. Brian?
Sue, Rachel Kaiser is the director of Kalamazoo Strong, and she's joining us live tonight outside of St. Thomas More Parish. Rachel, take me back a couple of nights ago when you first heard the awful news. Did you realize at that point in time that your organization was going to have to step in?
Yes, our experience with the last mass tragedy, we knew that the community was going to come together, was going to rally quickly, and that we needed to have something in place to help the community figure out what they wanted to do and give them an avenue into which to help.
You guys, did you help with we had the silent ride last night. Of course, there's a vigil here tonight. These are the kind of events that the community needs in order to heal, and you're helping in that process.
Yes, we are helping community members that want to organize things, get the word out, help to navigate some of those waters. The ride last night was humbling. It was amazing to see our community come together and just the support that we have for each other.
And Rachel, we were talking off camera about that awful shooting tragedy that we had earlier in the year, and the Kalamazoo Strong organization, at that point in time you thought, hey, this is a one-off deal, we won't have to utilize it. But here we are again.
Here we are again. I don't think anybody realized how soon something like this could happen again to our small community, and we're devastated, but we're here to help.
The service here gets underway at 7 o'clock tonight. It's an interfaith service. It's open to everybody. There's an overflow crowd expected as well. When, I guess, do you see this winding down, or will it ever? I mean, the Kalamazoo Strong organization, it seems like it's a great platform in place right now that you hope to keep.
Yes, we after the mass shooting, we mobilized and did what we needed to with that, and since then we've developed other programs with other nonprofits just to do outreach in our community where needed, not realizing how quickly we would have to mobilize our crisis response again. So we're here until the community, heals from this. It'll be a slow healing. We've been hit hard within 4 months. It brings back a lot of the feelings from February as well.
Absolutely.
And so we're here as long as we're needed in crisis mode, and we will continue to work with other nonprofits in the community on just the community outreach and programs that we've already had in place.
Well, we appreciate your hard work, and thanks for stopping by live tonight. Rachel Kaiser with Kalamazoo Strong. Again, the service gets underway at 7 o'clock here. We were talking with Rachel too. It's one of those things you don't realize you need it until you need it. Kalamazoo Strong, you can find them on the web as well. Sue, we'll send it back to you.
Brian, thank you, and needing it so soon, unfortunately. Thank you. Let's get to our forecast right now. Here's a live look outside at Holland. It was a pretty cloudy day for West Michigan, but things are going to warm up as we inch closer to the weekend. Storm teammates Kyle Underwood is here right now with a look ahead. Kyle?
Yeah, we had a lot of sunshine across northern Michigan today, but the clouds were just about everywhere you look here across West Michigan this afternoon. Same story here as we head into the evening, although we're tracking some thunderstorms in Wisconsin and Illinois. They will largely miss us, so expect a mostly dry night ahead here for West Michigan, and we are ushering in one of the hottest air masses of 2016 so far. Hot and sticky weather in the forecast here for tomorrow and Saturday, but a cold front comes through. We will cool off, we will dry out. It's going to feel great here across the area on Sunday, but overall the warm weather pattern continues. Beyond this weekend in the 8-day forecast, we have a lot of upper 70s, which is pretty close to normal, and even some temperatures back into the low 80s with small chances of showers and storms through several days in the 8-day forecast. But overall, it's a more dry than wet weather pattern. Now tonight, we are keeping an eye on some thunderstorms that are southeast of La Crosse and west of Chicago. Not doing much here. In fact, dwindling a little bit, and these showers, thunderstorms continue to head off to the south and east. And so that's true. We could see something here in Berrien or Kalamazoo County or Van Buren County, but the rain is going to be fairly light and mostly in other states, not here in Michigan. Our futurecast verifying that also. Watch for partly cloudy skies, and you can see the kind of the painting of red and orange on your screen there. That's mainly staying on the other side of Lake Michigan overnight tonight. By daybreak tomorrow morning, mostly cloudy skies for us. Lunchtime, same story, should be dry here across the area tomorrow afternoon. Some sunshine in the cards, and then here comes a system bringing in some showers and thunderstorms. This looks like it'll be either Friday night or early Saturday morning. Strong storms are possible, but severe weather chances are looking pretty low at this point. But this is something we're watching carefully, and some of those showers and thunderstorms could linger into Saturday morning. But I think the last part of Saturday and certainly Sunday are going to be dry and pleasant. Kind of cool out there now, 65 GR, 69 Battle Creek. The forecast calls for a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms on Friday. A little bit better chance here with some humid weather, 88 on Saturday, and most of those shower thunderstorm chances will be a little bit earlier in the day. Sunday we clear out, beautiful day ahead. 82 with a few showers or sprinkles for Monday, and there you can see what I mean by the warmer weather more or less sticking around. Water temps have taken a hit here with all the wind we've had over the last couple of days, kind of turning over the water and bringing up some cool stuff to the surface. 54 degrees right now at our Port Sheldon buoy camp.
Out there for sure, Kyle. Thank you. What a beautiful shot, though. The Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Office has identified the woman who was found dead alongside a rural road near Schoolcraft. Authorities are treating the death of 32-year-old Gabrielle Smith as suspicious. The Plainwell resident was found Tuesday afternoon on South 10th Street in Texas Township. An autopsy will be performed to determine how she died. Investigators say that she was not hit by a vehicle. A long-shot bid to recall Attorney General Bill Schuette for his handling of Flint's water crisis has gotten the go-ahead. Calvin Hodges from Sterling Heights started the petition. He's unhappy Schuette appointed an outside special counsel to investigate the water disaster instead of using attorneys on the state payroll. To trigger a recall vote, Hodges needs nearly 790,000 signatures within a 60-day period. Schuette has said he went with an outside probe to assure independence. Consumers Energy faces a fine of more than $500,000. The state says they failed to provide actual meter readings within a year for more than 12,000 Michigan customers. The investigation, it began in January after a number of people complained. Apparently, consumers was just estimating usage instead of using actual readings. The utility company said it will comply with the order. They have to pay the fine within 30 days. Some major developments in Decision 2016. Today, after meeting with Bernie Sanders, President Obama announced he's backing Hillary Clinton. So what does it all mean for the Democratic Party? We'll break it all down coming up next. Today, President Obama endorsed Hillary Clinton for president, but the timing of the endorsement is raising eyebrows. It came soon after Obama's much-anticipated meeting with Bernie Sanders. Steve Handelsman is at the White House right now. He has the latest.
Sue, aides here at the White House say President Obama taped this endorsement video just the day before yesterday and put it out today after what they describe as a friendly meeting between Mr. Obama and Hillary Clinton's fierce primary rival. Barack Obama and Bernie Sanders walked close together, but aides say the president gave the senator room to ease out of the primary battle he lost to Hillary Clinton. But soon after, Mr. Obama moved quickly, endorsing Hillary Clinton in a video.
In fact, I don't think there's ever been someone so qualified to hold this office. She's got the courage, the compassion, and the heart to get the job done.
Sanders said he will still contest the final primary in D.C. on Tuesday and fight at the convention for his issues, like free college and limiting the power of the rich. But Sanders said he will work for Hillary Clinton.
I look forward to meeting with her in the near future to see how we can work together to defeat Donald Trump and to create a government which represents all of us and not just the 1%.
A focus on Trump is what President Obama wants, as he will tell Jimmy Fallon tonight.
To remind the American people that this is a serious job. This is not reality TV.
Mr. Trump, come talk to us!
Donald Trump, meeting with Republican donors, tweeted, Obama just endorsed crooked Hillary. He wants 4 more years of Obama, but nobody else does. Sanders met with Senate Democratic leader Harry Reid on a day when the president endorsed Sanders' rival.
I think it's fair to say that Senator Sanders was not at all surprised by today's announcement.
Hillary Clinton tweeted, honored to have you with me, POTUS. I'm fired up and ready to go. So is President Obama. He and Hillary Clinton plan to campaign together next week. At the White House, Steve Handelsman, 24-Hour News 8.
Again, there is a huge episode of The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon tonight. Fallon is one-on-one with President Obama, and you can watch The Tonight Show after your News 8 at 11. Coming up next at 6 o'clock, our team coverage of the Kalamazoo cycling tragedy continues. We will break down the charges the suspect is now facing and talk with his mother, who insists he is not a killer, at least not intentionally. Brian Sterling anchors our team coverage live from Kalamazoo right after this break.